This year, on July 18th, marks Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of the Hebrew month of Av. Traditionally, Tisha B'Av is the saddest day on the Jewish calendar. In Jewish tradition, it was on the 9th of Av that the first temple was destroyed by the Babylonians in 587 BCE. And also on the 9th of Av, in the year 70 CE, the Romans destroyed the second temple. And Tisha B'Av developed as a way for Jews around the world to mourn the calamity of the destruction of the first and second temple. Traditionally, it is a fast day, and just as on Yom Kippur, we do not eat or drink, no marital relations, we don't anoint ourselves with oil. It really is a day of mourning and sadness. We read, traditionally, the book of Lamentations from the Hebrew Bible, which purports to be the prophet Jeremiah's firsthand account of the destruction of the first temple. In our day and age, some Jews observe Tisha B'Av and some don't. Those who observe Tisha B'Av do so perhaps for a couple different reasons. One is that, traditionally speaking, we view the period of the first and second temple, particularly the second temple, as kind of the Jewish glory days, the period of time in our history when we, the Jewish people, were especially close to God through our offering of sacrifices and the other rituals and rites of the Second Temple period. And so, understandably, the destruction of the temple was a major blow not only in its time, which it was, but also for Jews throughout the ages, because that marked the end of kind of this wonderful period in Jewish history. And traditional Jewish thinking holds that when the Messiah comes, he will rebuild the temple, and we will have a third temple and a return to those wonderful days of the Second Temple. Other Jews observe Tisha B'Av, not necessarily because they're so focused on the destruction of the temple, but because it's a time in our calendar when we set aside a day to remember the sadness, the tragedies, and the calamities of Jewish history. Even though those do not define the Jewish people or Jewish history, they are a very important part of Jewish history, and it's important to take time to remember them. Some Jews don't find resonance with Tisha B'Av in our day and age because Tisha B'Av's traditional focus on the destruction of the first and second temple, some feel, has been mitigated by the blessing of the establishment of the modern state of Israel. In other words, the Babylonians who destroyed the first temple are gone. The Romans who destroyed the second temple are gone. We, the Jews, are still here, and we have reestablished Jewish sovereignty in the land of Israel. And therefore, in that view, there's not really a need to observe Tisha B'Av. The important point, I think, is no matter whether or how we observe Tisha B'Av, it's an important opportunity to remember that while Jewish history is filled with so many triumphs and joys and blessings and accomplishments, we have, as we all know, suffered. And it's important to set aside a time, carve out time on the calendar, to reflect on those times and to mourn and to remember our losses and the tragedies that have befallen our people. And it is also a time to once again rejoice in the miracle and blessing of the modern state of Israel.